Welcome to Besties, Books, and Brews,
where we're not afraid to indulge in some steamy stories.
So whether you are naughty or nice or somewhere in between,
grab a glass of your favorite brew and settle in with your favorite besties.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Besties, Books, and Brews. How's everyone doing tonight?
Hi.
So tonight we're doing something a little different. Alyssa, what are we doing tonight?
Tonight we are going to be talking about unpopular bookish opinions. So we're going to talk about things that are kind of like controversial book topics and getting everybody's opinions on.
It's gonna get
on
spicy.
So don't come at us if you don't agree with some of our opinions.
Right.
Yeah.
We have opinions. You have opinions. So
that's the beautiful thing. And we even say this with our book reviews. Like, some people are going to like books, some are not. And some people are going to agree with these opinions and some are not.
right. Let's keep it cordial. So before we start, as always, what's everyone drinking tonight?
I got my water still. I'm being boring.
I stole a page out of Alyssa's book with my black cherry white claw.
So this week I have Mike's Hard Lemonade Seltzer in strawberry lemonade.
Oh man, that looks delicious.
I want that.
Yes, it's amazing.
And I have my water.
Hydration station. All right, so let's hand it over to Alyssa and kick it off.
All right, we're going to start with a pretty easy one. Let's talk about Nicholas Sparks' books. I can tell Nikki's opinion just by her face. I've actually never read a Nicholas Sparks book. I've only watched like the movies based on his books, so I don't even know that I can give an opinion on this. Have you guys ever read one of his books?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I've read 4 of his books because I desperately wanted to give him a chance because everybody loved him and said how great he is. And I also love his adaptations movies. I could not get into him at all. Like, I can be a fast reader, and it literally took me 6 months to read The Notebook.
I
just
DNF'd
not get into it. I couldn't get into it at all.
I DNF'd it.
I'm glad I haven't read that.
For me, there's not enough character development. So, like, if you've ever seen A Walk to Remember,
love it.
The book, nothing like it. Everything that Landon does, he does not do in the book. And it's actually, he doesn't do anything really. And it's rather boring. And I'm just like, why is she so in love with him? I don't get it. Like,
Does that make you wonder, like, how did that book get picked up to be, like, done as an adaptation? Like, if the book was not good, why did somebody go, oh, that's going to be a great movie?
Right. It was probably the same people, like, what's that fucking book?
Max Monroe?
Accidental
yeah. It was probably the same thing. Like, oh my God, this was so great.
I love Max Monroe. I love all their.
Oh no, I'm not talking about the actual author. I'm talking about like within the book that the book was this great fucking writing, and it's like, oh my God, this is gonna be the next big thing. That's probably exactly how it was with Nicholas Sparks. It was like, oh my God, this is great. We're gonna change everything about it though.
Yeah. The only I would say the only thing that I liked about the book that was different from the movie was that his at the wedding when Jamie was coming down the aisle, it was from his point of view, and he's talking about how beautiful she, like, he's like, it's like a few pages of just him expressing how he feels in that moment and like watching her and everything, and I'm like, that didn't translate well in the movie at all. And actually in the book it made me cry. Aww. But that's it. Just that one scene.
That one scene.
Yeah, Sarah, what are your thoughts on Nicholas Sparks' books?
I used to love it in high school. I used to eat them up, but my taste has changed since then. So I don't know. I don't know that I'd like it now.
She ate some chili peppers, and now she's like, nah, man.
Yeah, I haven't tried one, so, you know, and again, years, so I don't know.
I wonder how you'd feel about it if you tried to read it now. It's kind of like, you know, when we first read Twilight and fucking ate that shit up, and now if I were to read it, I'd probably be like, what
the fuck
garbage?
is this? Yes. It's the same thing, like,
never know.
Very cringy.
Right. And how we all started on, like, 50 Shades of Grey, and now it's like, that's, like, kid shit compared to the shit that we read now.
Yeah. The only, like, exception to that is Harry Potter. That has aged
Yeah.
so well.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care how old I am and how not spicy it is.
That's in a category on its own.
Yeah.
Um, okay, our next one is audiobooks. Do we count audiobooks as reading a book
Yes.
or no?
Yes. Yes.
I
Mhm.
totally agree. I mean, as somebody who is literally always listening to an audiobook, I always have a physical book going on and an audiobook at the same time. And do I count my audiobooks on my Goodreads? You bet your ass I do.
Oh yeah.
You're consuming a book.
I honestly think that audiobooks are a lot harder to like listen to than actually reading a book. I
For
think
sure.
I've read maybe 2 audiobooks in my life and I just can't cuz my brain I just can't. I need to physically see words.
I
But
do a lot of
consider it
rewinding.
right. I consider it you know, I do consider it as reading a book.
I
Yeah.
consider it as reading a book. I struggle with audiobooks because like Nikki, like my brain just kind of starts, singing random commercial
Seriously.
jingles and like
I'll be like
random
reading a
stuff.
scene and I'm like, "Ooh, a squirrel."
Yeah, but I if I get through it, I certainly count it. Like I read the Tom Felton book,
Yeah.
the audiobook, and I got through it and I enjoyed it. There were a few times I had to rewind because I'm like, wait, what's he talking about again?
Right.
Like, but yeah, no, I still consider it. I consider it on my Goodreads as well.
Mhm.
Heck yeah. And you're still consuming the words. You're hearing
Yeah.
a story. You're playing out that story in your head. I'm very visual when I read anyway, but I think even more so when I'm listening, I'm like picturing what I'm listening to.
Yeah.
And a good narrator can really make a bad
Absolutely.
book good. Like the
Yeah.
way that they
Absolutely.
tell it.
That's
I
our
also
next,
think like for me I would have to listen to an audiobook like when I'm like relaxed, like maybe before going to bed and I have nothing going on, just put it on and just listen to it. But as far as like during the day, yeah, that's not happening. Between my kids yelling and doing everything that I have to do, the 10,001 tasks I have to do, I would not be able to listen to an audiobook.
Yeah, I'm like the complete opposite. If I'm laying in bed listening to an audiobook, that's when my brain is going in like 1,000 directions. So I'll like start listening to the audio and then I hear like they say bird and then my brain is like, "Oh, bird, airplane, sky." Like it's just like a train of thought totally unrelated. I usually listen to them when I'm like doing my daily walks because it's just like a thing where I don't really need to think to do it and my brain is like totally dialed into the book.
Right.
That makes sense. As Sarah said about the narrator, this kind of brings us to the next question. So do this twofold. A bad narrator, you think they can ruin a book? And a good narrator, do you think they can make a bad book good?
I absolutely think a bad
yes
narrator
and yes.
could, yeah,
Mhm.
both of them.
Yep.
And I think it's even worse when you
Yeah.
have a great book and a horrible narrator because
Mhm.
it's like let's say if we get Fourth Wing on audio and we have somebody who fucking sucks, narrating that book, it's going to be so bad
Yeah.
because that's an amazing
Yeah.
fucking book and for them to destroy it like that.
I've heard the audiobook is not great for that, but I do have it on my Libby, like on hold, so I will be
Mhm.
listening to it on audio because I'm just intrigued to hear it. But I do have like a prime example, and Sarah, I actually remember having you listening to like a clip of this in my car.
Yeah.
It was Twisted Love by Anna Huang. Everybody goes fucking nuts over this book, and like I
Yeah.
thought the book was good, but the narrators, the woman sounded like she could have been like 6. Her voice was so annoying, so when she was narrating it, it was this woman who was like attracting a guy who was like a billionaire, like super sophisticated, really smart, but the way the narrator was narrating the woman made her seem really immature and young. So in my mind, I'm like, why would this man want to be with her? It was killing the whole vibe of the book for me.
Yep.
So definitely a bad narrator can make a
Mhm.
good book unenjoyable. I do say because I do count my audiobooks as reading, when I'm reviewing them on Goodreads, I will specifically say, I listened to this on audio. I did not like the narrator, and that may have had an impact on the way that I'm reading it.
Right.
The next one is about fairy tale retelling. So some people like them, some people hate them. What are your thoughts on them?
I don't like them.
Really?
It has to be a really, really good retelling for me to a lot of them I just feel like are so fucking corny, or like there's just too many of them. Like there's like 10,001 fucking Peter Pan books. Like I can't. I can't.
There are a lot of Peter Pan ones.
Yeah, there are.
I
haven't read any, so I don't know.
So I got the one that you sent me, the Little Mermaid retelling. So I'm interested to read that one and see how that goes. But for
A
the
Ship
most
of
part,
Bones
yeah.
and Teeth.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I do.
Oh, that'll be your first one, Sarah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only read one, which was A Whole New World, which was the Aladdin retelling from like what happens if Jafar succeeded or whatever the case may be.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And?
But that's it. That's I liked it. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say like it really, really caught my attention. Like I didn't feel like I had to, rush through it because I couldn't put it down.
Right.
But I didn't hate it. Like I enjoyed it.
Okay, well, I guess I'm like the total outlier here because I've read a ton of fairy tale retelling books, a lot of very spicy ones, and I fucking love them. But I do have a caveat to that. So I love a fairy tale retelling that is in a fantasy setting. There are fairy tale retellings that they kind of take the plot of the fairy tale and put them into like real life where they just kind of give the characters like the same names.
Right.
But it's not like a fantasy. It's like humans.
Right.
Like I don't fucking care about humans.
Exactly.
Like a fairy tale is fantasy to me. So if a retelling like for example, we read A Ruin of Roses, which was Beauty and the Beast based, and that was like fairy tale. And the first book was very much based on Beauty and the Beast. I think after that it kind of went away from Beauty and the Beast, but that I liked the first book a lot. And then there was The Vicious Lost Boys, I think it's called. It's by Nikki St. Crow.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the exact first name, but that one is a Peter Pan retelling. But that one's really good. That one's why I choose. So I can definitely give you guys some fairy tale retellings to read.
I know I have a few on my list. I just haven't had a chance to get them.
Yeah. Well,
I'll definitely take some because I know that a lot of things that you like to read, I'll end up liking because we have similar tastes. So I'll give it a shot.
Well, we will all try A Ship of Bones and Teeth. I have heard it's quite spicy, which I'm down for. And it is supposed to be loosely based on Little Mermaid, which I don't think I've ever read a Little Mermaid retelling, so that'll be kind of cool.
Yes, especially because that's my favorite Disney movie.
Yes. What are you guys' thoughts on DNFing books? Is it okay to do it or no?
Yes.
Yes. Anytime.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep. Why waste your time on something that's bullshit? Go find yourself a better book. I did it. Yeah. I believe 100% it's okay to do it.
I think it's totally okay to do it as well. I personally will not though. Like I like to just like if I don't like a book, I want to see that I'm not going to like it all the way through because there have been times like I don't like a book in the beginning, but then it kind of grows on me. I just like to be able to read it all the way through. But I definitely think it's okay for people to DNF.
Yeah. I mean, I give books the benefit of the doubt. I go as far as I can possibly go. But as we learned, there are some that I cannot. And for the most part, I can get through a book super quick. So when it's taking me a long time to get through a book, yeah, it's not going to get finished.
Yeah, if I'm not liking a book, it will take me. I mean, you guys know I'm a slow reader. It could take me like a month to read a book I'm not into, but like I'll probably read like it's kind of what's going on with the
Ashes and the Star-Cursed King.
That book, I wasn't really enjoying the first 80 pages. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to put this down. I'm going to read something else, and then I'll come back to it.
At least you got to 80 pages. I don't.
I haven't started it yet, so.
I think the problem was, and not problem per se, but sometimes when I'm reading a lot of fantasy back to back to back, I need like a regular, just like contemporary, not even spice. Like I just need something that is not fantasy to just break it up. And then I can go back into a fantasy world. So I think that might be what happened. It was just like a lot of fantasy and like long fantasy. I just needed like a break from it.
And being that I think like the second book is really going to get into everything that didn't get into in the first book. That's kind of like, why it's taking so long to, get into it.
Yeah.
25% in and
I plan on trying to finish it this weekend because I really want to get into one, the books that Sarah sent me, and two, a Ship of Ruins or whatever that's called.
Ship of Bones and Teeth.
That thing.
I'm gonna have a hard time giving an opinion on this one. Anne Rice books. I've never read one.
Me neither.
So.
I've never read one.
I actually DNF'd her. So I read Interview with the Vampire, and I was not crazy about it. I love the movie, did not like the book. So then I was like, okay, let me read, Vampire Lestat, because everybody's like, oh my God, you got to read the whole thing. And I could not, after watching Interview with the Vampire and seeing how Lestat is and how refined and all this stuff, to having him be like this weird rocker guy, I'm just like,
no,
it throws me so off. Like, I can't do it.
Yeah, you get to like know a character a certain way, and then when they're portrayed a different way, I think it's really hard with book fans and like trying to appease them when a character is brought to life, because you have very specific ways you picture them in your head.
Mm-hmm. But yeah. I could not get into, I don't like her style of writing. Like, there's just something about it I just don't like.
Interview with a Vampire is the one with Brad Pitt, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Kristen Dunst.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, Kirsten Dunst is in
Yeah, she's the little girl.
She's like a baby. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and Tom Cruise.
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna have to rewatch it because I watched it a long time ago.
So, it is a major ick when the main male character buys the girl a dress or a gown for a night out without knowing her size or her preferences.
Hell yeah.
Is an ick.
It is an ick. Because first of all, what if you buy me a size 12? I'm nowhere near their size 12. So if I get this dress and it doesn't fit me, I'm going to feel a certain type of way. Like, how are you buying me clothes? Just give me the money and I'll buy it myself.
I know. And like, they somehow always pick,
it's always
like
perfect.
a glove, and it's the color. Just how?
Right. I mean,
I'm just imagining
can't even go buy me the
her.
right size fucking socks, and you over here talking about buying a ball gown. The hell?
My brother tried to buy me a pair of pants for Christmas last year, and he got me a medium, and I go to pull them up, my fucking fat thighs, and they won't go up. And I was like, I love you for thinking I'm a medium, but this is no way in hell this is going up my legs. I did try to put them on. They legitimately did not fit me.
No, you said fat thighs. You don't have fat thighs. You have a fat ass. There is a difference.
And I got the fat thighs to go with it.
Fat ass.
Okay. All right. But anyway, I thought it was really
Alyssa.
Funny.
Alyssa's like this. You want to talk about Coke bottle? That's Alyssa and Lori. These two.
High fat Lori.
Don't make me
drop anymore.
kick you. Don't make me drop kick you.
Look, them kids made everything just kind of go, pow.
I'm going to drop kick you. You are still hourglass. Anyway, moving along.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I guess it's a little weird when the guy buys a dress without knowing size, unless they literally took a tape measure to her while she was sleeping or something.
And they don't. They just somehow it's so unrealistic.
Right. It's like they look at them and it's like, oh, I know exactly what size you wear. I'm gonna buy you a ball gown.
A man sees boobs and they go big, small. That's it. They don't know sizes like
at all.
Mm-hmm.
And you can be a 12 in this, a 12 in that, and then a 8 in this.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, can't stand it. Ick. No. Bye.
I feel the same way about guys who try to order for girls.
Yeah, how the fuck do you know what I want? No,
yeah, like,
maybe I don't want that. Right.
The only way I want you ordering for me is if we've been in a long relationship and you know what the fuck I want from that restaurant or fast food place.
Not even that. The only thing you're ordering for me is my fucking ring. How about that? The end.
Facts. This is one that drives me fucking nuts. Dog earring books.
That's what. Okay, so I have this thing where I buy a hard copy. So like I buy a hardcover. I buy a soft cover and paperback, and then I have my Kindle. My Kindle I go through and I read, and then I go through my paperback and then I highlight in my paperback. And my hardcover is just there to be pretty. I cannot fold anything in a book. That is just destroying property. You don't do that. That is sacrilegious.
Agreed. They're too precious. Like, why?
They are.
I will literally use anything as a bookmark.
Same.
Anything.
And not dog ear it. Like
100%.
I would find a quarter, I would find a receipt, I would find
anything
a leaf,
to put there.
but like whatever I can. I've used my phone. Like
I was using my phone with fucking right, and I used a highlighter because I ended up. Remember with I was talking about Omari with using the finish all the time. It got to a point where I got tired of trying to find it in the book, so I went and put a marker in there so I could quickly find it.
But I would refuse.
Yes,
to dog ear.
No dog earing.
Agreed. This is not on our list, but I'm going to ask it. Do you guys loan out your books?
No.
To friends?
No.
Yeah.
Well, Lori did. She lent me Harry Potter once.
And that was a very, very rare occurrence.
Right.
I knew where you lived.
But yeah, no. Absolutely not.
Only friend I've ever lent a book to is Sarah. I will literally not. No. Like, my books are my babies.
I lent it out once to somebody and I never saw them again. And I was so pissed because now my series is like incomplete. And then after that, I lent it out to one other person. And this was way after Nikki, because I trusted her. So I thought I could trust somebody else. And then after that person, I made sure that whoever I lent a book out, one, that it wasn't like one of my prized possessions. And two, they literally had to sign it out. I had a document with a
leave your ID.
I
need a copy of your ID. I need a copy of your birth certificate. Please leave that here before you take the book. Yeah.
I will sign this contract.
She turned into Library Lori.
I sure did.
I fucking love that.
And I don't blame you at all.
Listen, you're going to sign this contract that says if you return this anything less than perfect, you will be buying me a new one.
And I don't care if it's $1,000. You're buying it.
Yep.
You better believe a $1,000 book would not be leaving my house. Definitely not. Oh my God. I'm trying to imagine like somebody taking one of my special editions. I'd fucking smack them before they got anywhere near it. Imagine somebody tried to take your Fourth Wing.
I'll fucking stab somebody. I will stab them.
Now imagine you lent your book to somebody. They give it back and it's fucking dog ear.
I'd beat the shit out of them. Beat the shit out of them. Literally, with the book.
Look, my contracts, when I had them set up, literally said they couldn't mark it, they couldn't dog ear it. Like I even like included like one of those like bookstore bookmarks that
adorable.
Like I was not playing.
Yeah,
I love it.
I am literally obsessed with the fact that you did contracts.
Same.
For them.
Same.
And they had to sign it out, like, and then when they brought it back, I had to look through the condition. They had to sign the book in, like,
adorable.
She was Library Lori.
This
Lori
makes my
did
heart
not
so
play.
happy.
She did not play when it came to her books. Yeah,
I love everything about this. I would totally do the same thing if I lent my books out, which I did not. The last book I lent you was Ugly Love, and you didn't even read it.
I returned it as a DNF. It was a DNF, and that's it.
That brings us into our next topic.
Speaking of Ugly Love.
Nice little segue right there. Who is the author of Ugly Love? None other than Colleen Hoover, who everybody and their mom is obsessed with. But what do we think of Colleen Hoover?
No.
I never had an interest to even read any of her books, so I have no say.
No, thank you.
I love the two are it's ends with us and it starts with us, or whichever way it goes. I do love those two. I own them. I would reread them. That's it. Ugly Love.
It ends
another
with
one
us.
DNF'd, and I haven't decided to pick up another one.
What was the name of the other one that you said it was like she killed her boyfriend or something? While you're looking for it, I read It Ends With Us. I liked that. I read Verity, and it was alright. It wasn't my favorite, but like it was interesting, like suspense. People swear by Colleen Hoover's writing, and I don't know why. I don't love it. Ugly Love, I ended up giving 2 stars, and that is being generous. I could not stand the mean female character. And ever since that, I haven't wanted to pick up another one of her books. I see people say that her books are the spiciest books they've ever read, and I'm like, did we read the same book? Like, I don't understand. I mean, her books are not spicy. Like I want to call them Fade to Black. Like they're not spicy. So if you hear from somebody that Colleen Hoover is spicy, they're lying.
Especially
It'd
if you
probably
like,
be how like they'd say Nicholas Sparks was spicy.
especially if you like spicy books. It's a fucking lie. Don't believe it.
Reminders of Him.
Oh. And see, people swear by that book too.
Swear, but that's why I was like, okay, I'll give another shot. I DNF'd it. I couldn't. And I'm not the pickiest book person. I will say I'm pretty easy to please. I like generic, plain romance novels with not much to it. I cannot. It's just not.
Yeah.
Just not
So
my thing.
yeah, if you couldn't get through that book, then there is no way.
I still have no interest in her. So
no, I don't think either one of you would like her.
We're not making you want to read it
at all. You're not selling it.
And listen, I'm all for people reading it. If that's what you like,
right.
go for it. I'm
as we mentioned before in the beginning. If this is what you like, then hey, by all means, that's great. But for us, it is not our taste.
Yeah, and when you walk by Barnes & Noble, I think there's some other authors who should have giant book things displayed in the front.
Yes. Barnes & Noble sucks Colleen Hoover's dick. Like, oh my God, the displays they have for her. It's like
deep throat the shit out of her.
They have those huge books in the front that, like, why? She doesn't need any more advertisement. Everybody else already advertises for her.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is also to say that don't trust everything you hear on like book talk about you're hearing, because like people tend to like, oh, this person said they like it, so I'm gonna say I like it.
Right.
Just know that not everybody likes these books that everybody's like raving about. You may not like it either. You may like it. It just depends on your reading taste.
Right. It's the same, like we read books that we love and other people don't like it, and just as people love it and we can't stand them. So it's,
and you can DNF at any time.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes. Those are the last of what I have. Do you guys have any like book things that are kind of like talked about a lot that you think is like may have a weird opinion on it?
All right, I got something.
Okay.
If you can choose the best book to movie adaptation, which would you pick?
Book to movie or book to show, or either or?
Either or.
Outlander.
I haven't read the books, but Outlander is.
I've read the books and it's still.
Okay.
Is there an adaptation that you didn't like or you thought it was just horrible? I'll be honest. I watched the Vampire Diaries and then I read the books and I did not like the books.
Oh, I thought you were about to say the show. I'm like, that's one of my favorite shows.
I love the show.
But you didn't like the book.
I love the show. I did not like the books at all.
Yeah, I've heard them. So you know what? I have DNF'd a book before because I started reading Vampire Diaries and I never finished it. I remember getting like a few chapters and I was like, oh, this is not the same.
No, not at all.
Oh, Vampire Diaries is such a good show, though.
I forgot that it was a book.
Love me some Damon.
Oh, I love Damon.
Talk about a why choose.
No, I still love Damon more.
I would
have definitely done Damon and Stefan and Klaus and what was Klaus's brother's name?
Letter. I loved Klaus too.
He was my favorite one, the brother, and now I can't remember his name. I know in real life he married the girl from She's All That. I don't remember his name, but I know who he's married to in real life. That, the important stuff. I think Gossip Girl was a good adaptation.
It was. That's true. I love the Girl. Yes.
I never actually saw it or read it or anything.
Me neither.
It's so good. And do you guys ever read Angus Thongs and Full Frontal Snogging?
Yes.
Yes, that movie was so cute.
There was a movie.
I haven't seen that one.
Yes.
Shut the fuck up.
Only the first one, and they changed. It's like they had to change one of the words because it's super British, but.
Oh my, I was like obsessed with those books when I was younger. I have them in storage somewhere, but oh my God, I totally forgot. I didn't even know that there was a movie for that.
Mm-hmm. It came out a while ago.
You know the guy who plays Kick-Ass?
Yes.
Aaron Johnson? He's Robbie the Sex God.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, and he was very cute.
Have you seen him now?
Yeah.
All right, besties. Next week, we are going to be reviewing The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King by Carissa Broadbent. This is the second book in the Nyaxia's Crown. Is that the name of the series?
I think so, yeah.
It's after The Serpent and the Wings of Night. It's the second kind of after the novella. We get some more of Vale and what the heck was her name?
Lilith.
All right, okay, so we'll get more of Vale and Lilith, and yeah, we're going to see where this story goes. So buckle up, bookworms. We'll see you next week.
Bye! Don't forget to like and subscribe.